Good morning from one of the most beautiful landscapes in all of Shikoku. Here at 1400 meters elevation, the sunlight hits early, but the clouds are still nestled down in the valleys below. These highlands are referred to as Shikoku Karst, where karstification, or the erosion of limestone in this instance, has left behind jagged, rocky outcrops. Hey, I'm Ryan, just a guy who left the 9-to-5 behind to chase my passion of exploring and storytelling. And to do that, I moved back to Japan, bought a camper van, and it's now been 7 months exploring this country off the beaten path. I'm currently rounding out my trip in the smallest of the 4 main islands, Shikoku, looping to the south of Kochi Prefecture into Ehime before taking a ferry over to Kyushu. After a couple weeks focused on the mountains in central Shikoku, I then headed towards the south of Kochi, descending back into the river valleys. But not just any river valley, the Shimanto River Valley. The Shimanto River is the longest river in Shikoku and the only free-flowing river in all of Japan, meaning you won't see a single dam. And because the river flows are not controlled, you'll notice the bridges here have no railings. And that's because they're made to offer the least resistance when the river floods. I'm not going to lie, it's a bit scary driving over them. So I found this other free campsite right next to the Shimanto River. This is quite the, shall we say, rustic campground. No way this sink actually works, right? Alright. Well, I can still do my dishes. Man, I've just been cooking all day. I don't know how I'm gonna survive summer. Alright. I'm taking a dip. First dip in the Shimanto. Excited. Alright, now that the sun is lower on the horizon, I'm gonna go for a run. I wish I could film my runs because they are so beautiful. I mean, you can kind of imagine because I'm running in the locations that I film, right? It makes running quite enjoyable and every single run is different. I pretty much get to explore while I'm running. It's really nice. I think I'm gonna go for a 15K or so today. I'll put my Strava screenshot here to see if I kept my word or not. Well, probably nothing more exciting happening tonight, so I'll catch you guys tomorrow for some more exploration. I followed the Shimanto all the way to where it flows into the Pacific. Although I was looking forward to enjoying the sun on the beaches they have here, the weather had other plans, and I had to keep moving, so I went on ahead to Ehime on the west side of Shikoku. Now in Ehime, a prefecture rich in history, the first stop was Uwajima. From a distance, I could already see its castle looming over the town, so I parked and made my way over. Although unassuming, it's one of the 12 original castles in Japan, built by the Date clan 400 years ago. And these castle grounds are probably the most beautiful I've been to. I don't think Uwajima is all that well known because there was hardly anyone here, which makes the beauty and history of the place all the more enjoyable. And a short walk from the castle are the Tenshan Gardens, another site built by the Date clan in their almost 300-year rule over Uwajima. I had the place all to myself for a solid 45 minutes, which is a huge perk of visiting these lesser-known cities. Not far from Uwajima is another castle town from the same era, Ozu. Although the castle is impressive, it's not one of the 12 in its original state. But there is a whole neighborhood which retains its character from the late Edo and Meiji periods in the early 1800s. I recommend visiting Garyu Sanso, a beautiful example of the Sukiya Zukuri architectural style, possibly my favorite style in traditional Japanese architecture. The city next to Ozu also has a rich history, both literally and figuratively. It was put on the map during the 1600s as the center of white wax production, catapulting several families into the equivalent of present-day millionaires. One such family was the Kamihaga, and by visiting their preserved residence, you can learn about the impossibly complex wax-making process that makes you wonder, how on earth did anyone figure this out? The town has also preserved a huge portion of the neighborhood, so you can feel like you're walking through the Edo days.
I think this is my favorite find of the day. There's no one here. I'm in Koshoji Temple. It has a beautiful garden, and the inside of the temple you can walk around too. And it was right beside the parking lot where I parked in, and somehow there's no one here. It's crazy.
Driving back to Ozu and then down the Hijikawa River to the Seto Inland Sea, I ended up in Nagahama Port.
Man, it feels like I'm in Okinawa with this beautiful water, but it's actually just 20 minutes away from Uchiko in the port town of Nagahama. And the reason I'm here is to actually head over to Aoshima, which is one of the, if not the most popular cat islands in Japan. I'm actually not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to get on because I've heard that tickets fill up fast because it is a very small boat. So we'll see. So it's completely unclear where you actually get tickets. I asked the gas station attendant where you buy the tickets. Apparently the boat just shows up
and you buy them there.
I eventually found where the boat arrived, and luckily there were still a few spots. The ticket was 1,300 yen round trip, and about 30 minutes later, you arrive to Aoshin. The cats know the boat means food has arrived, so they all gather around. I didn't bring any food myself since I figured other visitors would bring plenty, so I bought a cat toy instead. But honestly, most of the cats seemed really low energy and didn't really want to play. The cats here look like they're in pretty bad shape, and with the human population currently at 14 elderly people and continuing to decline, the cats have all been neutered. You can tell by their clipped ears, which is done after neutering so they're not accidentally captured twice. Overall, it's not like it was some idyllic cat paradise, but it was nice to visit while it's still around. Well, that wraps up my time in Shikoku. I've just made it to Kyushu. I tried to plan my route so I could see as much of the island as possible, but there's always room for more exploration, so I will definitely be back. Shikoku continuously blew my mind with its history and beautiful landscapes, and the fact that it's still so low-key. If you haven't seen my first 2 Shikoku videos, definitely check them out. But if you have, I guess you have nothing else to do but to wait for my Kyushu videos coming up next. So with that, I'll catch you in the next adventure.